If you've ever created a vision board before and are just now considering it, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm sharing the mistakes that I made when I created my first vision board, just so that you can avoid making those same mistakes. And I'm also sharing tips on how to properly set goals and create an effective vision board. Hello, my name is UHS-I, and on this channel I share helpful tips for content creators, for startup content creators and influencers. So I'm sharing everything on the business side of things and on the creative side of things, based largely on my own experience as a growing creator. Some days ago, I was invited by Empire Homes, a real estate company here in Lagos, to host a vision board session at their International Women's Day event. I made a recording of my session just so you can watch it and follow through. Now please bear with me if the angle of the video, the recording, it's a bit tight, but I still wanted to get this video for anyone who needs guidance on creating their vision board. So I'm going to stop talking and head straight into the session.
I was very surprised, very surprised to hear that our super host actually created a vision board because of a post that I made, right? So I created my first vision board in 2021. However, that was not my first exposure to vision boards or setting goals, right? But since I started, I've loved doing it and I've made it a yearly practice. So sometimes since 2021, I would do it on YouTube to, sort of make other people aware and also to hold myself accountable to some extent, right? So whether I do it privately or publicly since 2021, that is something I've enjoyed doing. So I hope that the same way that post helped her to make her vision board, I'm hoping that this session will also help you to make your vision boards. And it should be a yearly practice, because it's very beautiful to look back at the images that you placed on your board years ago, right? Or goals that you wrote down years ago and see that I've actually moved past this stage. Oh, I actually did this. I said I wanted to do this and I did it. I said I wanted to have this and I have it. I said I wanted to go here and I've gone there. It is a very beautiful thing to see. So I'm hoping that this session is valuable to everyone here. There's going to be a practical session at the end. That's why I said we can pause on printing the pictures, because it's possible that after going through this session, you will decide to change some of the images that you have printed. It is possible, right? So if you've not printed your images yet, don't fret, just listen. You will learn how to set achievable goals and then learn how to source for your images so that you can print them out and paste on your vision board. Now, like I said, though my first vision board was created in 2021, that was not my first exposure to it. Right from when I was in secondary school, my dad had this practice, right? So every January, at the beginning of every year, we used to have a family meeting. So my mom, my dad, all the siblings, right? And we will all set goals. So we will start by setting family goals, so things that we want to achieve as a family. Then we'll move to setting individual goals, right? So of course, we'll start with the family goals. How did we do last year? What do we want to do as a family this year? We would write all of that down. When we're done, we'll go from my dad. My dad says, and it's made public, right? Just so we can hold each other accountable. So my dad comes, he says, he does a review of the previous year. We review him as a dad, right? So what were the things that he did good in the previous year? What did we like? Did he shout at us too much? Did he send us? It worked. Weirdly, it worked, right? Did he send us on errands too much? Did we like the school we went to? Did we have fun as a family? Anything we felt about his parenting, because that's the only thing we could comment on at that time, we will talk about it. Then we'll move to my mom. She gives her own analysis, and then we will review her. And that happens for every single person, right? And then afterwards, we start setting the goals. So my dad says things that he wants to achieve in the year. He writes it down, and he will always come to the meeting with his laptop. It was a family meeting, but he'll come with his laptop. We'll have item 7, We'll pop wine at the end of the meeting to usher us into the new year. It was a whole thing, right? And then he finishes and my mom comes, sets her own goals. Then for the kids, because we're 4, I'm the first child of 4 kids. Of course, our parents will set goals for us, and then we will now set our own personal goals. So for those of us in school, God help you if you were in WAEC class. My dad will tell you the number of A's you need to get in WAEC. He will tell you the least score you should score in JAM. So anyone that was in any WAEC or exam taking class, it could be annoying. And that happens for everybody. And then he'll go ahead to print out everyone's goals. So he'll write my name, Uchechi, write all the things that we have decided that will happen for that year. My sisters, so everyone, he prints it out, he gives it to you and tells you to paste it on your wardrobe. So that every time you're seeing it, you're reminded, right, of the things that you've said you want to do that year. And it was not just academics, personal life as well. We were all involved in the church, right? We're Catholics, born and bred in the Catholic Church, right? So somehow, all of us are active in the church. My dad is in the men organization. He was the president twice. My mom has been in the choir for as long as I've known my mom. Every time we move, every church we go to, she's in the choir. I am a lay reader, right? My sister is an usher. Every one of us have a role in the church, right? So we touch on the academics, we touch on the personal, we touch on the religious, right? We also touch on relationships. I am an introvert, right? And my parents didn't really enjoy that growing up because I would always be in my room when my siblings are out, relating with each other. So it would be so bad, right, that one of my goals would be to speak more, to play more with my siblings, or to interact more with my parents, or to be more vocal about things, right? So my dad always made sure that he touched on every area. So that's how I learned. Of course, in secondary school, I used to find that annoying, especially, again, like I said, if you were in exam-taking classes. So when you're writing work, you know that if they've told you need to get 6 A's, that's 6 A's, you must get it. Because during the next review period, you will come back and tell them why you did not get those 6 A's, right? So it helped us to be accountable. After secondary school, university, I sort of dropped that habit. But after school, when I started getting on YouTube more and, listening to certain people, I now stumbled on vision boards. And I didn't start creating immediately until 2021, when I created my first vision board. Now, so what is a vision board? A vision board simply is a visual representation of your goals, of your values, reminder of your values, anything that you want to remember, anything that you want to inspire you. That's simply what a vision board is. So if you are used to writing out your goals in your diaries, maybe just write it out, this year I want to do this. A vision board takes it a step further. So you look for pictures that relate to what you want to do or be or achieve in that year. You get them and you paste them on the board. There is no rule, right? There is no rule to creating a vision board because we are different, right? We have different needs and wants. We have different things we want to achieve. So there is no goal on how. So even for size of vision boards, it can be, some people have very big vision boards. Some people have A4 board sizes vision boards, right? Some people have just 6 goals in a year. They can decide that, or 4 goals. Some people say they want to focus on one thing per quarter. There are 4 quarters in a year, right? So some people say, I want to take it one step at a time. So 1 goal, 1 quarter, 1 goal, 1 quarter, 1 goal, 1 quarter, and they have 4 goals for the year. Some people decide they want to set goals for half year, right? So for the first 6 months, this is what I want to focus on, or these are the things I want to focus on. At the end of H1, I come back, do a review, and now set my goals for H2. So there is no one way. However, there are tips to help you with setting achievable goals and creating realistic and personal vision boards. And that's what we're going to talk about here. So this was my first, unfortunately, this is not clear enough. This was my first vision board in 2021, right? And because it was my first vision board, I made quite a number of mistakes that I do not want anyone here to make. Firstly, there was no thought behind it, right? Yes, I had watched videos on people creating vision boards. I had listened to people talk about vision boards and setting goals and manifesting and manifestations and all of that. But when it got to creating the actual vision boards, I made quite a lot of mistakes. There was no thought about it. I didn't really think. I did not know how to go about it. So I went on Pinterest and I looked for pictures that I felt resonated with me. The pictures that I liked, pictures of things that I felt I wanted to have. And I took them and I printed them and I pasted them on the board, right? What I ended up having, right, was a board mixed with things that I wanted to achieve and also things that at the end of the year did not make sense to me. For instance, on my 2021 vision board, I had a picture of piercings on an ear. I have just one piercing. I don't know why I thought I could get up to 10 in 1 year. But I think at the time when I was creating the vision board, I just felt like, you know what? I think I want to have piercings this year, right? It was I feel thin, and I used that emotion to print out images. On this same vision board, my 2021 vision board, I have an image of a MacBook, a hard drive, a new apartment, a camera, traveling, saving a certain amount of money. All of these are fantastic goals, right? However, if I had thought deeply about these things, I would have realized that it would be difficult to achieve this. Why? At the time, I was not making the sort of money that will allow me achieve all of those things. I was not working the sort of jobs. I had left a 9-to-5. I was freelancing. I was not getting the sort of jobs and earning the sort of income that will help me achieve. And all of these things are high-ticket items on the board for 1 year. Imagine saying I want to leave my parents' house to go to my own apartment. I want to buy a camera. You know how much a camera costs. I want to buy a MacBook. I want to buy a hard drive. I want to travel. I want to save a certain amount of money at the end of the year. Like I said, fantastic goals. But if I had sat down to really think about it, to be realistic, to look at where I am, right? The resources that I have, what I can have, and then set my goals, maybe it would have been better. On my vision board as well, I had things like being fit, and I had a very unrealistic picture of a fit person. So very flat tummy with abs, hips that were out like this, and a very toned person. Very doable, but I have to be very disciplined. I probably need to, maybe go to the gym or start specific workout routines to achieve that body type. I did not think about all of that. I just saw a picture of a very, very fit looking young lady. And I said, bam, this is what I want to look at the end of, this is what I want to look like at the end of 2021. Another mistake that I made was that I had no strategy on how to achieve the goals, right? Which I'll talk about when we're talking about tips. So again, I looked at images, I looked at how I felt, and I operated purely based on my emotions. No thinking, no analysis to see where I'm at or where I want to go to, what suits my lifestyle at that moment, what is priority for me, how I want to break down these goals. Nothing like that. So there was no strategy behind it. And thirdly, I created my board and I put it away. So I had done all the work. I had bought a very fancy, if you see the scissors I bought, it's not normal scissors. It had very beautiful jagged edges. So when you cut the pictures, the edges look very nice. See, I put a lot of, effort into the creation of the vision board, the aesthetics of the vision board. And then I finished, and I can't even remember where I dropped it. At the time, when I now went to pick it up, there was dust on the vision board. I couldn't believe it, right? So if you're creating a vision board, that's why it needs to make sense to you, and it needs to be a true reflection of where you want to be, right? And then when you're done with that, you need to place it somewhere where you can see it and be reminded by human beings. We're in Lagos. The heat is a lot. There is traffic. By the time you leave your house and go out and go back and forth for months, sometimes you will forget what you've said you want to do in January. It's March. You've probably forgotten some things I said you want to achieve maybe by April, right? So you need that vision board to be visible so that at every point you are reminded of the things that you have said you want to achieve. And so now that takes us to my tips, right? And please listen very carefully to this session. First, you want to make sure that your goals are SMART. I don't know if you're familiar with the acronym SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant or realistic. It differs from time to time, and time-bound. Now, what that means is it is not enough for you to say, I want to sell houses in 2024. It's easier, or it's better for accountability purposes, right? And for when you're reviewing in the next year. When in 2024? So you can break it down into quarters. So maybe in quarter one, how many houses can you sell? Or how many houses do you want to sell in quarter one? How many houses do you want to sell in quarter two? When you do that, it's also easier for you to now have steps under each goal. But if you just, blankly set a goal, and it's the most comfortable thing to do. I did it too when I was creating my first vision board. Because you don't want to put yourself under pressure. It's very, very tricky. It's very easy to do. But it's better if you have specific time frames for the different goals that you want to hit, which is why I said some people like to take it in quarters. So in quarter one, I'm focusing on this one or two things. In quarter two, I'm focusing on this one or two things. Take it chunk by chunk. Anyhow you want to do it. Just make sure it is specific, it is measurable, it is achievable. And that means you need to be realistic with yourself. You need to look at what you have. This doesn't mean that you cannot aim high. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying if you can sell 20 houses in 1 year, do 10. Or if you can sell 50, do 20. If you can sell 50, maybe you can do 70, right? Push yourself, but realistically what you can do and what you can achieve within certain periods. The third tip is to make sure that all the areas of your lives are covered. When I gave the example of the family meetings we used to have, I said my dad will set the personal goals, the academic goals, the religious or spiritual goals. So for you, you can decide, okay, you know what, I want to break it into 4 aspects. I want to do the personal life. I want to do finance or business. I want to do health and wellness. Decide on what aspects are very important in your life and list those aspects. And then now look at different things you want to accomplish under those aspects in a year. So for instance, under the personal aspect, you say, in 2023, I didn't do a good job of calling my parents. Or if you are married, I didn't do a good job of calling my in-laws. Or I wasn't there for my friends as much as I wanted to. So in 2024, I want to do that differently. So if you were not calling your parents well in 2023, and you want to get better at it in 2024, the actionable steps now, how many times, how often do you want to do that? So you need to make sure that there are steps and things in place to help you with achieving those goals. If you decide for your finance or business, you want to sell 10 houses, right? What are those things you can do to help you sell those 10 houses? Do you have potential clients on your WhatsApp? If you have potential clients on your WhatsApp, in 2023, were you doing a good job of posting listings on your WhatsApp story? Were you doing a good job? If you're active on Facebook and you're in forums, real estate forums on Facebook, were you doing a good job of being active in those forums? Where is your target audience? Where are they active on? Do you need to create social media pages to start advertising listings and offers and houses? What do you need to do to sell those 10 houses in 2024, right? Those are actionable steps that you can take. Again, remember the SMART acronym. Be specific. Don't just say you want to sell more houses in 2024. How many more houses do you want to sell? Of course, that goal is measurable, because if you say you want to sell 10 houses, then at the end of 2024, you can track and see if you actually sold 10 houses. Is it achievable? How many houses did you sell in 2023? On average, how many houses can you sell? So does 10 houses look realistic to you? Fantastic. So make sure, what are the important aspects of your life? List them down. If you can do that now, your personal life also, remember your lifestyle. Anything you want to achieve, see, your vision board is personal to you. So for your personal life, if you decide that I would love to go on a vacation with my family in 2024, what are the things that you need to do to go on a vacation with your family in 2024? For instance, I'm a content creator, right? So I can decide that if I want to go on a vacation with my family this year, as a content creator, there are two ways I can do it. I can decide to pay out of my pockets, or I can decide to work with a travel company. So if I decide I want to work with a travel company, what are the things I need to do? First, I need to identify which travel company I want to work with. Maybe make a list of 2 to 5 travel companies, reach out to them, offer my services. And let me tell you, funny enough, this happened in 2021. So when I got married in 2021, of course, I had the goal of traveling out of the country, maybe for a holiday or something. And what I did was I reached out to a travel company and we started planning everything, destination and the offers, what I would give in exchange. And as God will have it, I became pregnant. And when I was pregnant, I was ill. That trip could not happen again, unfortunately. But that's, I made steps. I took the steps to ensure that I hit that goal of traveling, right? So anything you want to do, how much money do you want to make in 2024? What are the things? So for every goal you are setting, ask yourself, what are the things I need to do every day, every month, every quarter to take me closer to hitting that goal? If you do not do that, you will end up like 2021 me, who created a vision board and forgot where she dropped her vision board. And by the time she went to go and pick it up, it was covered in layers of dust. So for every goal, if your goal this year is to get married to a tall, dark, handsome man, what are the steps you need to take? Do you need to revamp your wardrobe? Do you need to go out more? If you're always staying in your house waiting for the man to come and meet you, maybe that needs to change this year, right? You need to socialize more, right? So I'm not on a serious note, no matter how unserious or stupid you think that goal is, it is yours. Just make sure for every goal you are setting, you list out steps that you need to take to hit each of those goals. If you decide that you want to have your own company this year, you want to be the boss, what are the things that you need to do this year? Again, do you want to create social media pages to drive awareness to what you do? Do you want to start going to events to network with people? Do you want to be on LinkedIn? Do you want to learn how to run sponsored ads? If you want to create social media pages, what are the things you need to do? Do you need to learn how to create videos? Do you need to learn how to take sweet pictures that people will see and they will want to enter the house immediately? If you don't have those skills, do you need to hire a content creator to work for your page? Do you need to hire a social media manager? If you need to hire a social media manager, how much can you pay? So you see, I've broken all of these things down into steps, down to how much you can pay a social media manager. If you look at it from down up, you look for a social media manager that fits your budget, you find the person, you engage the person, you create your social media pages, the person starts managing, the person follows you to listings, does your videos and your pictures and posts. If you have potential clients on WhatsApp, you are posting those videos and pictures on WhatsApp so that people can see the listings and the properties that you have for sale or for rent or for lease or whatever the case is, right? And then all of these are translating, and eventually you say, okay, you know what? I have enough clients. I have a fantastic client base and database. I want to be the boss. Because you have done the work from the ground up, it's easier to achieve than just waking up one day and saying you want to be the boss. How are you going to be the boss? You don't know. So please, again, as you're setting each goal, so number one, write out the different aspects of your life that matter to you. It can be 4, it can be 6, it can be 2. Then look at those aspects and look at the things you want to do under each of those aspects for the year. As you are writing down each goal, before you paste it on the board, make sure you know the steps that you need to take to hit that goal. If you want to be fit, if you want to have 6 packs this year, do you need to start waking up? If you used to wake up by 10 in the morning, you probably need to start waking up by 6. Do you want to go to the gym? What time does the gym open? Do you have traffic around your area? When is the best time to go to the gym? Do you want to go to the gym in the morning? Do you want to go to the gym in the night? If you don't want to go to the gym, do you want to do home workout sessions? Whose routines do you want to follow? When do you want to do them? How many days a week do you want to work out? What do you need to eat to keep fit? You're going to have 6 packs. You cannot be waking up by 11 o'clock to take something like Zeba, or you cannot be drinking soda all the time. You can't be taking a lot of processed foods. So it's important to think about the steps that you need to take to hit each of these goals so that they make sense to you. Your board should make sense to you. Anybody should see your board and say, what does this image mean? And immediately you'll be able to explain it. Not, I don't know. I can't remember why I put that image there. That shouldn't be the case. At any point in time, if anyone stumbles on your vision board and says, and it happened to me, my vision board for 2023 is here, right? And I have hooks at the back so that I can hang them on the wall. And I hang it in a place I pass there every day, multiple times a day. So I'm seeing it. And one time my aunt saw it and she saw a picture. I can't remember the particular image that she saw. And she thought it meant something else. And then I explained to her what it meant. So if there's no thought behind creating your vision board, somebody will come and ask you what this thing means, and you probably have forgotten, or you don't know how to explain it to the person. So your vision board is personal to you. You need to understand why you are putting the images that we are putting before you place them on your vision board. You can source for your images. You can get your images for your vision board from different places. So from magazines. I get mine from Pinterest most times, right? You can get them from Google. Because you are not posting them on the internet, you may not have to worry about copyright issues, right? Since it's just for you on your board, right? Now, how do you look for the images? So for me, for instance, let's say a goal that I have this year is to travel, right? Maybe go on a vacation with my family. What image would I look at, that will easily make me remember that goal? For me, it's probably an airplane. So I'll look for a picture of an airplane and put it on my vision board. For you, it can be anything. Maybe for you, a pictorial reminder of taking a vacation would be a picture of a passport. It can be a picture of someone rolling a box. It can be a picture of someone in a particular country. Let's say you want to travel to London this year, for instance. Maybe have the picture of the London Eye so that you remember that, this year, I want to go to London, right? So that's how you source for images. What picture would you see that will make you remember the goal that you want to hit? Type it out on Google, on Pinterest, wherever it is, or look for it in a magazine or a book, and then take that picture and paste on your vision board. It's that easy. Again, it has to make sense to you. Don't look at what any other person is putting on their vision board. If you go on YouTube, you'll see very fantastic vision boards. If you go on Google, you'll see very fantastic vision boards. But that's not your vision board. Those are not your goals. And those are not the images that make sense to you. If you feel like the images that you have here do not appropriately or accurately represent the goals that you have for 2024, there is no pressure, right? If you don't have the appropriate images here and you want to go back home with your board and think through and think about the things you want to do. If you are faith-based, for me, I pray. Okay. For me, I pray first. And I tell God, thank you for 2023. In fact, funny enough, the day I prayed was the day I got a DM from you. Some hours after, I got a DM from you. And I was like, okay, you're moving fast. So if you are faith-based, right? If you are faith-based, I would encourage you as well. Because I am. I don't joke with my relationship with God, right? At the beginning of every year, just have, some people do a whole month retreat. So you see some people say they take the whole of January off. You see some people say they take the first week of January off. Whatever makes sense to you. If you can't take any day off social media, maybe social media is your 100% bread and butter. Whatever makes sense to you, but make sure you have that time. Again, if you're faith-based, no pressure on anybody. Make sure you take that time to sit down with God. Firstly, thank God. Thanksgiving is very important. Thank God for the past years, for the blessings, even the goals that you could not achieve. Thank God for everything, right? And then seek guidance on setting your goals. Because the last thing I want to do, and I believe the last thing anyone wants to do, is to put in time, energy, and resources to things that do not yield results, or things that do not tie to God's purpose for our lives. That's the most frustrating thing to do. You put in all your time, your energy, you commit money into something, and at the end of the day, you realize, what am I doing? This doesn't align with the plans I have for my life. So if you're faith-based, if you need to take time, if you can't do it here, no pressure, right? But make sure you do it. If you need to go home and pray, maybe have a day, have a week, whatever it is, and then use the tips taught here or learned here to set your goals before you go ahead to achieving your vision, to creating your vision board, that works. All right? We need to ask a question.
Can you have it for 2 years or 3 years? Is it more than it was changed every year? Can I have a vision for 2 years?
So like I said, there's no rule, right? I've seen someone say I watched someone's video on YouTube and said she usually does a long-term vision board, right? However, there are usually yearly goals in between. So, and long-term doesn't mean that, you want to achieve something in 2020, in 2030, and you put it now, and then you don't do anything. Long-term means you need to start doing the work now, but you know that it will take you 5 years to achieve. So you can put it now, right? And every time, maybe you update the image to reflect the stage you are at for that goal, right? However, because we are human beings, it's usually easier to track short period of things. So most times, people recommend a yearly vision board. But if you have a long-term goal that you need to start working on now, then please go ahead and put it on the vision board. And just remember that this goal is a long-term goal. However, again, because it's a long-term goal doesn't mean that you will not put your actionable steps. So what do you need to do this year to achieve that goal in 2030? So make sure you put that, and every time you put a picture to reflect where you're at for that long-term goal.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you found it extremely valuable and helpful, like those at the event did. This is also a reminder that it is not too late to set your goals for the year or to create your vision board for the year if you haven't done so. I also didn't do so till March, so it is not too late for you to do same. If you indeed found this video helpful, do not be stingy. Give this video a thumbs up and share with anyone who you believe will be inspired to create their own vision board if they've never done so before. If you also want to keep getting this sort of content from my channel and you're not yet subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you are in the loop of things whenever new videos go up on the channel. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe, stay fabulous, stay blessed. Goodbye.